on the data pool, on the local music radio stations, and the gossip about music and bands in the city. Right now, there's some small stuff floating around that's kind of comparing the situation with TNT and slogans for shirts, shortened to S4S, as a bit of oil and water, since they both have completely different genres, they both make completely different types of music, they write completely different songs. But if that's the case, they should be a volatile mix. So why was slogans for shirts seen at a TNT show getting all cozy together? There are pictures of Truman and Z sitting in one of the sunken seating pits, kind of just hanging out very snugly together. There were pictures of the entire band from TNT drinking at the bar that was scorched as if it was burned in a fire, with some members of slogans for shirts. And on top of that, there was some talk or whispers of them being seen talking to TNT's manager at Ground Zero. So nobody knows what's going on, and it has caused quite a bit of a buzz in the local music scene right now. So there is some whispers going out there on a data pool about things. Now it's only a day or so, maybe two, since the Ground Zero concert. That was on a Friday night. It's like Saturday, Sunday now. Actually, probably Sunday, we'll say. Now the band has pulled in some money from your online merch and music and stuff you put on the data pool. That whole Continental Brands trick you guys did with the transmission last game has kind of blossomed into something at this point in time. Continental
I don't
Brands
know what you're talking
again
about.
will not avow anything. And as we talked last game about that, there are certain comments that are just mysteriously missing on some messages about this stuff. But all in all, you guys have managed to rake in about 8,000 euro bucks in sales and download fees after everything has gone through.
Not bad.
Yeah, it leaves you at a very interesting point because not even a week ago, you guys were very, very broke. And now you have a couple $1,000s to your name. So that'll be interesting to figure out. For Max's edification, nothing more has been heard about the Blood Nation versus Snake Nation issues. That seems to have been, like the guys were saying last time you met with them, it was probably a one-time thing. You guys got a little too close to their territory. They sent a message. That was really it. In terms of any heat from Continental Brands, there hasn't seemed to have been any for the past 2 days. Not that you've noticed. I mean, you guys did have a physical cease and desist be brought to you, so that's a thing. However, there is a thing of note that might be worrisome. As you guys have kind of been still floating around like the Rancho Coronado, like those not so good parts of town to kind of live in the SUV you guys got from Max's clan, you do start to see more graffitied band logos of yours that you guys didn't put up, but they're all on Continental Brands equipment. So that's a definitive thing. Oh, yes, Snake Nation has had a couple of people attacked or pursued or harassed by the Maelstrom gangs when they've been driving through town. Nothing has happened that's been serious. Nobody's been injured so far. The most it's been is just like they get tailed a little too closely. Maybe they get bumped a bit by the cars and left to go.
That's the gang that those cyber implants were stolen from, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Now, being as it is a couple days since you guys had the Ground Zero experience, you guys get your funds in. You still have the Continental Brands, run you could do. There really wasn't a lot of other pressing stuff, but I guess the one big thing I was curious about is you guys were offered $20,000 to make a video or a production. Do you want to take that from DM Records?
We already had a plan for that.
Yeah.
We were going to take it. We were going to set up. We were going to buy equipment, buy the stage, the whole 9 yards, and fucking destroy it live.
Okay.
Live on stream. I thought that was the plan.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if you guys still wanted to go through with it after what went down at Ground Zero.
Yeah. I want to foster the rumors that we're sellouts, and then show what real sellouts do when they take a corpse money.
Okay. So unfortunately, since we don't have our lead singer here, we'll say you guys end up reaching out to Michelle. She gave you guys, her number after all, and basically say, yeah, we're interested in doing this bit. We're going to put some stuff together. Let's just start making the arrangements. And they'll start getting the money essentially ready for you guys. And once you have everything set up, location and song and like expenses, they'll send everything over.
Okay.
After that phone call, things seem a little tense on the end from the label after what went down at Ground Zero. Like she's the woman on the phone when Michelle talks to you, she's not upset. She just seems a little more guarded, not as open as she was originally when she talked to Max and Z. Obviously, you guys set some stuff on fire, got a bunch of like wealthy kids drunk, and basically had the band that she's managing give her the middle finger, which makes it a little bit more of a not so loose relationship anymore. Now it's more of a business transaction yet again. So there's definitely that's coming out whenever she talks to you guys.
So we basically were able to expose the fact that she's just a shill and doesn't actually care.
She told you she doesn't care.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
I'm just saying. It's totally out now. It's like, oh, you don't care? Cool.
There was nothing to expose.
Either way.
It was the fact that as long as that TNT's bringing in money, they're fine. The moment they start fucking around and start losing the money they're bringing in, then they're screwed. Like that's always, she's always been open about that. That was never a like anything hidden.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my goal was never to expose them as anything. We all know they're a fucking corp. My goal was just to take their money and piss it away.
Yep.
That was my idea.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're all on board with that idea.
I don't. My only message is we don't respect you as a corp, and you're stupid enough to let us have your money. And like, if they would just give us cash, I would just like burn it on stage. Like that's what I would do. But since they won't just give you cash, we have to like buy good products and ruin them to expose nothing just because we hate corps. There's no message here.
Sure there is. We are showing that no, we're serious. Our message is 100% serious.
Yeah,
Fuck the corpse.
Basically, Nate is like, hey, we're not the Sex Pistols,
Right.
We're some other, entity as opposed to that. No one's putting us together to be a thing.
Roughly, I'd say halfway through the day on Sunday, as you guys are kind of going through lists of things you want to pick up for this presentation. You guys are basically putting together shopping lists, checking out stuff on the data pool, like what you want to pick up, what'll be kind of cool to trash on stage, what kind of stuff you want to get for the stage and that type of setup, which obviously Polly's going to be a big part of that since she's the tech. She knows how to set stuff up the best way and make sure that everything looks good when it essentially gets disintegrated on camera. Z will get a ping on her agent on her phone,
Okay.
and it's
who's
from
pinging me?
Truman.
What's Truman want?
Give me a call when you get a chance.
Gonna show it to the other guys. Hey, Truman wants me to give a call.
Who's Truman again?
She is the
The
drummer
drummer.
of TNT.
Oh,
right.
Okay. I forgot their names.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you got Yona. She's the
Lead singer.
lead, and the bassist. You have
Yep.
Verge, which is their lead guitar, and then Truman's their percussionist.
Call her up.
Yeah, I'll go give Truman a buzz.
So you give her a call, and she picks up like on the second ring. She's like, "Hey, what's up?"
Hey, not much. You said to give a buzz. What's up?
Yeah, I was wondering if you were busy later on tonight.
Am I busy later tonight?
You asking the guys?
Yeah, it's
Hey, everybody,
just
are
one
we
second.
busy?
Are we?
I'll just.
Later tonight?
It depends. I don't know.
I don't know what's up.
Be non-committal.
I don't think I am at the moment.
Okay. You want to grab a drink or
You guys go on a
something?
date, go on a date. You do
You know
you,
what?
girl.
Yeah, I'd like to grab a drink.
Right?
Cool. Where do you want me to pick you up?
You know what? How about I meet you at Ray? Give me a fucking bar. me a bar I can
If you
afford.
want to be edgy, you could go Afterlife.
I don't think I necessarily want to be that edgy with Truman. I mean, if I have to, play up the androgyny and, all that to get her to come to the other side, I can do that. So I don't think I want to go that edgy just
All
yet.
right.
Actually, I can
The-
actually just straight up ask her, what bar are you thinking?
Well, I was thinking about going up to Ground Zero again and heading upstairs. It's just normal. When there's no shows, they have a nice rooftop bar up there.
Yeah, we can do that.
Cool.
I'll meet you there.
You sure you want me to pick you up?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right.
What time?
I don't know. Let's say 10 o'clock.
Sure, we can do 10.
Cool. All right. I'll see you there.
Yeah, meet you there.
And she'll hang out.
Apparently, I'm going on a date with another drummer.
Okay, whatever works, bro.
Right on.
Very real chance this could be a trap, but I don't think Truman would set me up like that. Her manager, on the other hand, that one might concern me a little bit.
Yeah, after talking with them, they just need to fucking get away from that bitch.
Kind of a trap. Like, they're going to take your drumsticks? I don't understand.
Dude, they're corpse. I'm not above thinking they're gonna fucking put a bullet in my dome.
Seems extreme.
Yeah. But we never said corpse made any goddamn sense or had a lick of sense of their own.
Well, I don't think you have to worry about getting a bullet in your head. You're just the drummer.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
I don't mean that as an insult. You're not the lead singer. No one's going to make you or I legendary.
That's fair.
I play
Don't look at me,
electronics
man.
and you do percussion. Now, our
As
lead singer, on
far
the
as I
other
know.
hand,
Yeah,
You know.
Vox is a target.
we
He's a
put out
face.
one album. He's got a target on his head.
It's true, man.
Speaking of your lead singer,
You still pass the fuck out from the night before?
no, he actually gets call. He gets a call as you're on the phone with Truman. He gets a call from Tyra. And essentially,
Little girl.
she wants to pull him aside, have a talk with him at the Coyote. El Coyote Cojo. It's in Haywood, so he'll be heading out there. More than likely for the evening, they're going to talk over some business stuff, make some final arrangements for the list you guys are putting together. And basically, once that's set up, the boss says, basically anything you guys find you want to pick up, send to my agent. I'm going to go over with Tyra. We're just going to have some drinks and hammer out the details.
Yeah, we need to hammer out like her percentage and all that other shit.
Yeah.
Because we just picked up AK, so we need to figure that shit out.
Yep.
Yeah. He'll head out. Essentially, he takes a cab on over to Haywood from where you guys are at. And it leaves the four of you just chilling for the afternoon. Is there anything you guys would like to do during this afternoon?
Well,
You
We
do
got
have
8K.
$8,000. Yes.
and I'm still planning to do a cyber net run,
Right.
so I may want to look into picking up some more programs. I got some decent offense, some okay defense, but I'm thinking I might need a little more, given that this is, even if it's a branch office, God only knows what I could fucking run into.
That's a good point. So to get some more programs, you have a couple different options. One is you can go to try to basically find a night market, which is like a black market that's kind of below the radar, because a lot of the programs that you're going to use as a net runner are not going to be like you just walk to Radio Shack and go, hey, can I have that ice killer and that stealth program and the module over there? These are the type of things that are specialized and you get from other net runners or like night markets and underground areas.
Yeah, I'd say my life path has gear from midnight markets and score programs when I can, so.
Yeah. So that also could get you. I mean, there's other ways you can get it. Like if you know some or had contacts with, like for example, some legit like over the counter like cyber deck dealers and like just tech people, they usually have some back stock of stuff that they don't really advertise. Or you could just go deep dive and try to touch on the barest parts of the old net and go hunting for spell books, as they would call them, which is a very, very dangerous thing to do because essentially you're diving past like the safe parts of the net and going into uncharted territory to try to find old caches of programs, which are pretty much, they're called spell books essentially, like a grimoire.
Yeah. Which makes sense because you activate them basically like it was a spell.
Yeah, you put them in slots in your deck and just cast them essentially from there.
Yeah. And how many slots you have determines, or how much your interface score is, determines how many actions you can take on the net given a turn.
Right. And your deck quality determines how many programs you have loaded at one time.
Yep. Which point. Woo-hoo. But yeah, I could take a peek and see if I can get my hands on a midnight market. Because I'd prefer to go a more safe route, particularly since I have a date tonight.
Okay. So you got a couple options out for you. Now, most of the places that these markets are going to end up being are usually going to be in combat zones where, there's a lot less law attention. If you were a little more into the upscale, like the corp side of things, you would know where to go in more corporate or nicer areas for this type
Yeah.
of under the table work. Alternatively, Max could potentially pull some strings with his clan and see about getting into a spot outside of Night City that might have some of the stuff you're looking for. Because nomad clans do also have net runners.
Actually, that would probably be my first question is, hey, Max, know any runners?
I can make some calls. I'm sure I could find
That
somebody. What do you
would be-
need?
Programs. More programs.
All right. What do you have in mind? Do you have like specific programs in mind that you're looking for? Or
Well, already I'm running Eraser and Worm, Armor, Sword,
Let me pause you right there.
Grisbolt.
You ever talk to somebody and you can just see them zone out while you're talking to them? Like as you're discussing something, their brain just goes, doo.
There was a period of time I lived with you. Yes, I've seen this
as
before.
as you're doing this, like Max's eyes kind of just glaze over. Like he doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about in terms of what these program names are.
I'm looking for offense, defense, and boosters.
now you're speaking my language.
Like literally, he just holds up her hands. I'm looking for offense, defense, and boosters. Basically, anything I can get my hands on that's going to make this fucking continental run easier.
All right.
Because there's a very real chance this could legit fry my fucking brain pan.
Yeah. No, we don't want that.
No, I prefer to live. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll see what I can come up with.
That would be great.
Ray, I'll call. What will I call?
Well, you have a
the one guy that I talked to that was sort of like the guy that gave me the last job in exchange for to get the vehicle, right? That would be
Yeah.
like a fixer, I guess, for lack of a better term. within the
essentially
clan, sort of.
yeah. He's a guy in the clan that kind of handles. How do I put this? Like not requisitions, but he kind of like takes requests and is like, okay, let me see what I got, and then kind of goes down inventory for clan members and gets them something appropriate to what they need. And he also sets up the favors or return to the family for doing these things. Now he doesn't run the night market, so to speak, but he can put you in touch with somebody who can get you more specialized gear like net programs, etc. However,
Okay.
since she is not clan and she's not family, it's probably gonna be a little bit more expensive, which is probably to say it'd be a roughly standard night market price. It's going to be inflated because it's black market, so that's just
Right.
definitely a thing.
All right. Well, it is what it is. Yeah, I'll reach out to that guy.
Yeah.
To find out about the night market.
So you basically reach out to this guy called Santiago, who's the one who handled your vehicle request. When you hit him up on the radio, he's like, "Hey, just give me a second. Can I hit you back up in like maybe 10 minutes?"
Yeah, no problem.
And in the background, as he's talking, you kind of hear like an engine revving. So as you hang up, you wait a couple minutes. He does call you back, and this time when he clicks over the radio, you don't hear it anymore. Like the engine sound's gone. It's just like a low hum, just barely on the edge of perception. He's like, "Hey, sorry about that. I was just pulling off the highway there. What do you need?"
I'm looking to track down somebody who can direct me to a night market. One of ours.
Okay, what do you need? Like anything specific or?
Programs?
All right. Yeah, I think I know a guy. How far and how urgent, I guess, is the first thing I should ask.
We'd like to have it today. I'd like to get this done today if possible.
Okay.
Like before nightfall.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. It might be a little bit of a trek, just so you know.
All right. Well, I mean, it is what it is, man. I appreciate anything you can dig up for me.
Yeah,
if we
yeah,
have to drive a little bit, it's no big deal.
No problem. I'll hit you back up. Let me just make some quick hollers. All right.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Yep. And he'll click off. You wait probably about a half an hour before he hits you back up. He's like, "Hey, Max,
Yeah.
got to beat on some stuff for you." It's a
Okay,
guy
awesome.
By the name of Raphael. He's about 30 miles east of Night City. Just take the main highway on out, and you'll see basically an old town outcropping that used to be there, probably pre-war. He's in an old hotel, like on the side of the road there. He's hold it up. We got a couple of clan there. It's like a little little way station, so to speak. But he's got a shop set up that he's willing to sell some stuff to non-clan.
All right. Hey, I appreciate you doing that little bit of legwork for me.
Yeah, no problem. You can't miss a hotel. It's got on the side of the building. It's just spray painted "Last Stop." So just
Stop.
yeah, keep an eye out for that. You'll see it.
All right, Santiago, last stop. Got it. Thanks.
Yep. It's Raphael actually. He's Santiago. The guy you're
He's
talking to.
Santiago. The dude's Raphael. Reverse that. Okay, I'm bad with names. Okay. All right, Z, we got a little bit of a trek, but I got a place.
As long as I'm to ground 0 by 10, or just, text her and let her know I'm going to be late.
Well, we got to go 30 miles east out of Night City, so
That
we should
shouldn't be that
probably
bad. Let's go.
should probably go now. Yep.
Yep.
All right. Is everybody heading out with you, or they want to do other stuff?
I didn't really have anything else to do.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's night market, I want to go because I'm still looking for goggles to modify.
You guys kick off the SUV and start heading out of town from where you guys set up shop for the evening. Making your way out of Night City is not difficult. It's just hit on the roads, take a couple of rights, and you're straight on out, into the desert essentially. And again, it's, once you start passing the city limits, the prevalence of buildings starts just decreasing and decreasing and decreasing until it's just empty wasteland in front of you. Just barren, cracked, dirt, and just incredibly hot sun beating down the vehicle. Luckily, you have AC in it, which is, a good help. But there's also the change in smell in the air. Like even with the air conditioning on, just everything changes once you get out of the city. Occasionally in the city you have the smell of burning oil or pollution. Once you make it out into the Badlands, essentially it's just open air. It's not the best quality air, but it is different than Night City. It's pretty damn hot once you leave the city as well. Mind you, inside the confines, you usually have a lot of the hot sun beating up from the asphalt on the streets, so it makes it a little hotter than usual. But once you get out here, there's nothing stopping the sun. It's just constantly coming down on you during the day. So it easily peaks at like 100, 110 as you're driving through, the desert essentially. You guys make your way out past the 10, 15, 20 mile mark, and you start passing on the sides of the road, these old like rest stops and like old gas stations on the side of this massive, what used to be a massive highway. The highway itself is cracked and there's a lot of potholes throughout it, but Max, you've traveled this enough with your family and kind of know where the worst of it is, so you manage to avoid it for the most part. Occasionally you hit a bump, something new has popped up or a new crack in the road, but nothing bad. It doesn't damage the vehicle, nobody's any worse for wear as you guys drive out into Night City, or out of Night City. Once you hit the 30-mile mark, you can start seeing just in the distance on the right-hand side of the road, there is like a couple of dottings of old buildings. Obviously, again, pre-war, most are half torn down, so you just have the shells of buildings. Kind of like that nomad camp you guys were at for Sangre, when you guys played the show. It's these old husks of buildings that have been kind of hollowed out or burned or crumbled. And as you start passing them, you can see this like larger 3-story building that's, it's there. I wouldn't say it's structurally sound because as you get closer, you can see that entire one wall, like your Contact Santiago said, is spray painted with Last Stop. But as you see the building itself, its profile, part of it's kind of collapsed on itself. So this is definitely not a sealed building. It's partially collapsed already. Doesn't look very sound, but you can see as it's coming more into like your rear line of sight, there are several different vehicles parked outside this thing. So most of them are from Steak Nation. Some of them aren't. Some are vehicles you don't even recognize. Some are from some of the smaller clans that kind of roam through the Badlands. But most are Snake Nation.
Okay. And I'll pull up and I'll park somewhat away from the rest of their vehicles.
Okay. Yeah, you find a good spot, like maybe like 100 yards away from the rest of them. It looks like it's an old, weathered parking lot. The asphalt's long since been cracked and faded. Outside, you see like a couple of groupings of individuals, all the rather like rough-looking sort, so to speak. So you're wearing like road leathers, like blue jeans, heavy-duty boots, things of that nature. And they're obviously all carrying at least pistols you can see in side holsters. Some have like assault rifles slung across their back, or submachine guns. Everybody's pretty well armed. It is the Badlands after all. But they're mostly sticking in groups of clans, or travelers that have come together. They're just by themselves. And as you start making your way towards the building, the first question I have is, who's all going inside? Is it everybody? Well, I know Z, obviously. Max, probably, because, you're the clan.
Yeah, I pretty much have to.
And this is night market, right?
Well, it's the hotel that the market's in.
Yeah, I want to see what they got. They
Okay.
may have some shit I could use.
I'm not going to be the only one to stay out in the car. So
You could mind the car. Because what do you think they are? Thieves?
I'll
Yeah,
just turn
that's-
Viper on. We're fine.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question comes down to what would we normally do? Because I don't know that we've really, like, I know this sounds like a really
No,
stupid thing to contemplate, but like,
Well, so far you guys really haven't run into a situation where it's like, let's all just leave the car behind that's outside the city. You know, like
Yeah.
anytime you've left the vehicle, it's pretty much been a night city.
Yeah.
Never really left in the Badlands.
well, how about this? I will stay with the car, even though you have a security system. I
Right.
think there's probably going to be some folks that are smart enough to subvert a security system. If I'm standing there and I have a gun, that gives us a better chance of fending off anything that's going to come and try to mess with the
That's true.
vehicle. So,
That's true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of my family here, but there are a lot of people I don't recognize. So that's
Right.
probably a good
Yes.
plan.
All right, so CD stays with the vehicle as you guys make your way to the hotel. Now, you guys walk to the front. You can see that either side, like as the entrance itself is like on the corner, right? So they have the corner of it cut away, and you have these double doors. And along either side, the side where you cross the road from the parking lot you're at, they have a couple of like old school, like partially rusted and reclaimed benches and tables that are set up. And a couple of people are there, like sitting on the benches, sitting on the tables in some cases, smoking cigarettes and just drinking and casually talking amongst themselves. As you all walk up as this trio, knowing that when you guys usually do about your day-to-day business, you're not in the band getup. You have a couple people look over at you, but nobody's gaze lingers too long. You know, it's kind of just a quick checkout. Who's that? Okay, they see the colors on Max. Don't really recognize Polly or Z, but they just kind of let their eyes just keep on sweeping over you and don't pay any mind. As you walk towards the door, Max sees a couple of clanmates that you've run into in the past that you've done some jobs with, just casual acquaintances. They just give you a nod as you guys head in.
Yeah, nod back.
Pushing open these doors, you're in an old desiccated lobby of a hotel. You can see the information desk has been set up as kind of like a pseudo arms like rack, because you have a couple of different types of rifles laid out among it. You see a member in Snake Nation colors behind that talking to some people who are buying that are in blood colors. Across from that, you can see what used to be probably two elevator shafts that are kind of hollowed out, and they've been turned into basically makeshift latrines for the most part. They're bathrooms. The rest of the lobby is kind of just squared away to where it's been cordoned off into different sections. So by the main check-in desk is where you have a lot of the arms and arms deals. They kind of wrap around that area. A little across from that, like this nice little courtyard they had in the middle of this hotel, you can see that they've got people set up for different types of gadgets and raw materials. On the other side of that, you see people are selling cyber decks and some armor. And it's all cramped quarters. There's maybe 10 to 15 dealers here. And inside this place, you have probably about 50 people going from, stand to stand looking to see what's there. Some are lingling, some are haggling. And just this din of conversation and cigarette smoke is just floating through the air in this lobby.
All right. Does it look like all of the vendors, like all the people that are like selling stuff, are from Snake Nation?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll just turn to Polly and Z. We should probably all stick together. Not that anything bad is going to happen, but if you go and try and buy something and I'm not there, they might try and fuck you. At least if I'm with you, you'll get at least a fairish shake.
So you guys wade into the traffic of the market proper. Once you guys get in, mind you, this lobby is a moderately good size. Once you walk into that area proper, you realize that there's really no roof or ceiling above you. This was one of those hotels that had a basically a lobby that was open air that went all the way through the levels. And you can see it's really open air now because part of the building, again, had been collapsed. And it looks like as you're walking over this cracked tile of this floor, they just cleared it all out and basically put up this market in its place. And a lot of the stalls have like a couple of poles set up and like makeshift like tent poles and like either like a rough cloth, like a terry cloth that's over them, or like, old sheet metal that's been made into like rooftops for some of these stalls. The air and the sunlight from the outside is completely shining through the hole in the building. So once you get out over there, the temperature goes up as you walk out of the shade and into the market proper. It's a bit open air. It's kind of weird because you're still inside a building. There are still all 4 walls there. It's just they don't all go to the top of the building anymore. And that's the problem. As you walk in and kind of look up and around, you can see the balconies for the 2 levels that are still above you that are somewhat intact, the third being almost completely gone. You can see there are Snake Nation individuals with rifles just walking back and forth along the balconies, obviously keeping watch so that nothing crazy goes on down here. Because again, these are clan, salesmen, so if somebody starts sticking stuff up, security's going to step in and handle it, essentially.
Is this the type of situation where these are, like, is this like a permanent thing here? Like, is this night market in this building all the time, or is this like a pop-up situation, like they move around and shit?
Most night markets are pop-up.
Okay.
So this will probably be here for a week or so before it moves location again. And then once it does, this will just be in like another small outpost, for Snake Nation.
Okay. Makes sense. Then I'll walk us around kind of cautiously until like we can determine where we need to be for Z's stuff.
Okay.
Figure we'll get that out of the way first, and then we'll try and check out whatever Polly's looking for.
Yeah. So the first set of stalls you guys pass, because they're set up, you have 4 in the middle, and the rest are ringed around the outside. And the first you guys walk by in the front are selling some small arms fire and ammunition, essentially. You can see off to one side as you're kind of walking down this aisle. If you head down this aisle completely before it starts turning a right to do like the circuit around the middle, you can see a stall at the end that has cyberware. And you see
where we need to go.
There's some haggling going on right now between a man in a very nice evening jacket and the Snake Nation purveyor.
Back. Fuck.
What are they like haggling over price?
Well, it looks like the guy in the evening coat is like holding out a cyber arm and is like gesturing towards the salesman. The guy's like, no, I don't want it. He's like, come on, it's fresh, Like that's just the kind of thing you're seeing.
Does this guy look all pale and tragic?
Oh, he looks tragic, and he is wearing a top hat.
Yep.
It's a fucking vampire.
Oh yeah.
They're
Okay.
fucking back.
Yep.
God damn it. We're never going to escape these guys.
I'm gonna just kind of linger a little bit and just kind of see how this plays out.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you kind of edge and like window shop the stalls in front of you to kind of get like an ear shot what's going on, above the conversation that's going on naturally around you as some of the other buyers are just haggling with the stall owners, you hear this guy in the evening jacket is like, no, you don't understand. This is quality materials. We just picked it. I have an entire crate of this in the car out front. You'd be a fool to pass this up. After all, some of your brethren already bought an entire host from one of our associates downtown. And the guy in the stall's like, yeah, that's fine, but I can still see the etching of who you took that from. If you're gonna, pillage and basically vulture places, at least have the courtesy to take identifying markers off of it. He was like, that's. It would be just a delay. It comes fresh from the nerves to your table from us. It's a gift. And the guy's like, no, it's not a gift. It's disgusting. There's still bits of flesh on there. They'll rot off, or you can wash them. Either way, it'll be good as new and like a once over, I'm sure. And they just continue on this little vein, is what it seems like it's going down.
All right. Well, okay. I think we have a clear picture of what.
We
hell's
gonna go
going on
save this guy or what?
There's security here. He's fine. If it gets out of control,
Yeah, it doesn't sound hostile. It's like just like
it'll be all right.
it's just pseudo friendly haggling. Maybe
No,
a
I
little
meant
bit
like as in
aggressive.
socially save him.
Oh,
Oh nah, fuck him.
right.
He's dealt with
was it?
worse.
I need
Yeah,
to be over
what-
there.
Well, it's
That's-
cyberware is more Ripper stuff, not necessarily net running.
We'll keep going until we
Find the
find
net
whoever.
runner area.
It's I don't know. That was just kind of good to know because it's like that's
They're trying to
that's,
sell more Maelstrom shit.
yeah, like that's the journey of that shit that somehow still wound up at the night market. So it's just kind of good to know. That's just more of like a FYI. I don't know.
Yeah,
Or that's more of the shit.
that gang is
Right.
doing some pretty heinous shit, to be honest. But
Call
hey,
themselves
you know,
vampires.
That's on
It's
them,
fucking
man.
fun.
Yeah,
That's their
it's-
humanity, not mine.
it's Night City, man. You do what you got to do. So you guys make your way around that corner and just pass that discussion. And as you pass, you notice like getting a look at the vampire, the Philharmonic vampire. He's not one of the guys you dealt with in the city. It's different.
Okay.
Obviously, the same gang, given the get up, and he's still pale. He's got the top hat. He's got the evening coat. The tailed tuxedo vest. But it's not the same guy. It's just the same affiliation. And when you guys did see the rest of them in that building you guys went to, the Med Center, they were all dressed that way. So it's got to be a gang affiliation thing. So you round the tables
fucking
there.
weird.
And as you get along the inside track, on the right-hand side, the inside, the innermost part of the market, you see they're selling like arms and armor again. Some of it, though, is very clearly used. Like, people have kind of buffed it out. And this is easy for Polly to notice that they've kind of gotten it probably off of the losers and fix it as much as they can. Like, it's still going to be, enough to stop a bullet. It's just not going to be as powerful as it once was. Maybe it's been ablated a little bit. Maybe it's just getting worn down. But they repaired it as much as you can expect, without good
I've
materials.
got to do that. I just had to do that stuff with boxes stuff. So
Right.
his armor. So
So you recognize the markings. Like, when you see somebody's been tooling a vest and fixed it up a little
Right.
bit, repairing dentings, you recognize the small imperfections that definitely show that this was worn in battle actively. Passing that, on the left-hand side of you guys, on the outside ring of the night market, you can see the cyberware has now turned into like antibiotics, medical supplies, and right at the corner, you can see a guy selling cyberdecks and the bodysuits for doing net running. It's
That's where we need to be.
Place to go.
it's an African American gentleman. He's got his hair braided and pulled back. He's wearing snake colors. You can see he's got some obvious chrome on him. Like, his eyes are actually fully covered with lenses. Like, he doesn't have like visible eyes. They're just a lens that covers, the ocular the orbital socket of the eye. You can also see that he has a couple of plugs on the side of his temple, and he's got one obvious cyber hand.
Well, here we go. I'll walk up and start perusing, acting like I know what the fuck I'm looking at.
When you walk up, the first things you see are a couple different cyberdeck. For Z's edification, these are all like low grade. So you're
Yeah.
looking at like maybe 7 program slots for these on average. You do see that there are a couple of different Netrunner bodysuits behind him. And you do see a couple of small, like, little data slates essentially that have lists of programs on them.
Cool. What are the data slates saying? Like, what does he have on offer?
Well,
Because
from
I
what
have
you-
it in my brain, a shopping list of what I'm looking for.
Right. So when you walk up, the first thing you see on the top of the list in this one, it's in big letters, like it's dramatically presented. It says ASP. This is a black ice program.
I'd say I know what that is. I'm looking for black ice programs, not necessarily ASP, but if I have to get away with an ASP, I'll get away with an ASP.
Yeah. The other one beneath that is super glue. Then he has sword, and then he has a eraser on that data slate. But as you pick it up and look over, he's like, "Hey, what you looking for, lady?"
I have a small list of things. Just check and see if you have any of it.
Well, you have list. Raphael's goods. What do you have?
I'm looking for a wisp, a hellhound. Let me scroll back and look at the rest of the shit that I'm looking for. Please hold.
So you looking for black ice?
Just those two. Super glue might not be half bad for what I'm thinking, and I'm looking for some insulated wiring.
Right. But those black ice programs you want, little lady, those will fry somebody's brain. You really want them, I might be able to see about getting one of them.
Given how dangerous net running can be, if somebody decides to come after me, I'd rather fry them first.
Hey, I'm not going to argue with that. I completely agree. I can get you, say, a hellhound in a couple hours. Probably going to cost about $2,000.
Kind of look over at Max.
$2,000.
Yeah, man, that's a pretty, that's an expensive piece of spell work right there.
I'd say standard grimoire on most of the city ones is about 500 Eddie.
Yeah, if you can find it.
Well, look, we were sent here special to find you. Said you had the good stuff.
I do.
Can you do, for a fellow family member? Can you do 1,200?
You want the family discount, huh?
Eh,
I get that we're family and all, but I mean, I gotta make a living too. If you would like to roll your persuasion,
Let's see if I have such things.
Can I help Sean with that? I actually
Yeah.
don't know that I have persuasion either. But I can
I
try.
would go with either persuasion or even trading. Trading would work too. Get haggle it down a little bit.
I will do trading.
I don't have trading. I can't help you there. That is now no longer in my wheelhouse.
What the fuck? Are you serious with me? Like, what is going on, Sean?
Ooh.
Yes,
A
Sean.
21.
Get me
All
the
right.
good price.
So
Oh, when you're rolling
Come to me,
9.
hellhound.
you guys spend like 5 or 10 minutes just tossing offers back and forth, counterpoint, point, counterpoint, and you're like, yeah, well, you know, Santiago told me to come to you specifically, and you start working it a bit, and he's like, all right, listen, best I can do, lowest I can go for you is 1,100.
You drive a hard bargain, Raphael. Does that sound good to you, Z?
Works for me.
That's entirely fair. We'll take it.
It's about 600 more, but hey.
He's got to make a living too.
And you
I know.
wanted the wisp too, right, little lady?
If you can manage to get your hands on it.
Well, I'll get the hellhound in about an hour if you guys can stick around.
Yeah, chill.
I'd say time check, right?
It's probably 3 o'clock.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
The wisp maybe take me 20 minutes. I gotta head over a stall. I think we just got a deck in that might have it still on it.
That would be beautiful.
Yeah, we'll hang out.
All right.
How about the wiring?
Let
I'll
me
give you
see.
100 for it.
You'll see him start just digging around. Like he'll turn from where he's got the decks laid out and the data slates, and you hear him rummaging through and opening up like old military style crates and just looking through things. And as he's doing this, there's like all kinds of stuff just starts flowing out of these crates, like old school like musical like gear, like some old synth decks, some jacks, a bunch of cabling. And he's just really digging through this thing.
I'm paying attention to all this stuff that's coming out to see if there's anything that I'd be interested in.
So maybe, I mean, the cabling could be useful, to be honest. Cabling could always be useful. You can use that to wire anything and jury rig stuff. It could be very, very useful just as a resource.
I'd say while
Right.
Polly is doing that, I'm just going to lean over to her and just, hey, you can install wiring on a cyber deck, right?
all the old like gear he's throwing out that's like musical gear, like that's all like 70 years plus old. It would take some fixing up, but it's nothing you guys don't already have, really. It looks like
It
he's
really hasn't evolved in that much time either. Though.
well, no, it hasn't, but it's like not that you don't already have this stuff. And it looks like from what you're seeing, especially being a tech, he's kind of torn these things apart and salvaged them for other like bits for circuitry, for other stuff. You see him pull a bunch, like a big, oh, okay, let's put this. It's like a the size of a football, essentially. You know, about 4 or 5 inches tall by about 8 inches long. This black case. It goes on. It's like maybe 6 inches deep. He picks it up. He's like, I knew I had this somewhere. He dusts it off, and he kind of pushes some of the data slates to the side on the table and sets it down. Turns it around so the opening faces you guys, and he clicks up. You just hear the click click as he opens the case, and you see a bunch of basically wiring for schematics for how to do the insulated stuff for the cyber deck. This will require taking that deck completely apart and installing these wires on top of it.
I trust my Polly.
He basically kind of just a sweeping gesture over the wires. Now, this stuff is pretty valuable, but we can cut you a deal at 300.
I'd say I had initially offered him 200 for the wiring because I know it's 100.
Yep,
And say, should I roll persuasion?
you can.
Let's see. This is not in my wheelhouse, but we'll see what happens.
This is
We'll
why
try
you
to get his dollars.
I'll be looking at it real
Click the button.
closely.
Did the button click? Did it
Oh
work?
yeah, you did. 15.
Oh, okay.
Z got a
15's not
15 on
bad.
your persuasion check. That's pretty good. He's like, since you're with family, I guess I can do 200.
I'll take that deal since that's what I offered.
Yeah, it's just I don't have a lot of these around. Is what really the deal is.
No, I get it, man. And if it weren't, a situation that's going to be helping him out, I wouldn't even be asking.
Yeah, that's fair. I got a range upgrade module if you're in the market.
How much is that going to set me back?
250.
Hold on, now Jess has to go find it in the book.
It's 100.
I'd say I figured about as much.
Would you throw in those cords, and I'll point at some of the old the old audio cords and stuff like that. Throw those cords in with that range module.
Sure.
I'll go splitsies with you.
Sounds good.
All right.
So
I'm
what?
pretty much blowing through my entire portion of the $8,000.
So what the range upgrade does is normally you have to be within 6 meters of an access point to actually jack into it.
Yeah.
This lets you move it to 8 meters.
Hey, an extra 2 meters. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna bitch.
Now
Right.
the only thing is you still have to be in line of sight. Like you can't do it through walls. You still have to be within line of sight.
Yeah, even with virtuality goggles
Yep.
and the scanner program.
So you see him go back into that same case again, and he starts just rummaging through stuff. And as he's doing that, you see that he's wearing like this armor jack. But under the armor jack, what catches your eye, he's got this modified, basically Desert Eagle, just sitting in the waistband of his pants. This is a massive fucking gun. It's a very heavy pistol, but he's got some clear modifications on it. Definitely custom work. But he comes back up with a small box, puts it on top of the wiring case, opens it up, and you see like the little module that you just need to insert into the cyber deck. He's like, this is going to replace what you got in there right now. A little bit of tinkering, you can get it done. Now, I don't know. I know not a lot of us actually do our own work on our decks. It takes a special skill for that. I do know somebody who can do that if you need somebody to install. They do it for a pretty fair price.
It's a thing to consider, but I think I'd be insulting this one and kind of like gesturing over to Polly.
Fair enough.
I'm looking at the box, the wiring, and I'm kind of like just.
Yeah, he cords that up for
around.
you, wraps it up, puts it in a good bundle. You got probably a good 100 feet of cable here, all in all.
Nice.
It's like, so I know those are the programs you want, but I still got, I got under the table, I got a Hellbolt, I got one flak.
I'd say I made a money, man.
Hey,
I appreciate it though.
all right. Well, that being the case, let me make my call real quick, and I'll start getting those programs rustled up for you. You guys going
Thanks,
to be in the building still? You're still going to shop, or?
Yeah, we'll hang out.
All right, cool. Yeah, swing back by here in about an hour, and I should have everything set up for you.
All right.
Thanks, man.
But you can take, and he puts his hand down on the cases. You guys can take all of these right now if you'd like, and then just come on back for the programs.
Yeah.
That works.
All right, Ray. Total, how much does that set me back?
Oh, I wasn't keeping track. So
I know it was 1,100 for Wisp
1100
and
for the 1100 for the Hellhound.
Hellhound.
The Wisp was 200.
Right, so that's 13.
Right.
And then I was splitsies with the wiring with Polly.
Right, so that's 100. Oh, well, 125.
So that's 13, 14, 25.
And then you got 300 for the just 200 for the other program,
Okay.
or not the program, but the wiring.
I may need a little bit of an advance on our next check. Because I don't know how
I'm
much we got
gonna
after the
throw.
last
I'm
game
gonna throw.
anyway.
Just. I'm gonna throw 200 at it right now.
You're beautiful. And that should cover the rest of mine too, so.
Okay, just mark your
So-
Euro bucks off.
Yep.
So
Did so.
you see, Raphael kind of ducks behind
Sets me
some
down
of
to
the
100 for my date, so.
the body suits. You see him pull up a radio, makes a quick call. He is speaking Spanish.
Is that one of my languages? Hold on, I have to look.
Check it out.
I don't think it was.
That's fair enough. But the conversation he has only takes like a minute or so. He's like, obviously it's a question, then an
Man, stop.
affirmation, and then another affirmation, and then the call's over.
Sorry,
right.
she's getting near me again.
No problem.
In the meantime, Polly, was there more stuff you were looking for?
Yeah, I'm looking for smart goggles or smart glasses,
All right.
and shit I need to put into it.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, I'll take everyone around and start looking for like an equipment place or somewhere that might have some of the stuff that Polly's talking about.
Yeah, so essentially what you're looking for are just basic gear. Now, some of this is included in cyberware. Like you can get parts out of cyberware to actually kind of utilize this. Other
Yep.
parts of this are going to be just kind of like here and there and everywhere. So stuff like your radio communicators and your scanners, that's probably gonna be around the same spot as you're gonna find something for what Polly's looking for in specific. So you guys are basically just journeying around the outside rim of the market. You guys pass another small little medical station, at least that's what it looks like at first glance. But as you kind of walk by and hear the conversations, they're selling drugs. Like, it's flat out like, hey, I got some Neo Coke and all kinds of crazy shit that they're just dealing with over here. And then you start making your way around and start getting more like field gear, comm scanners, flares, rope, knives, camping equipment, all kinds of just normal outdoors and wilderness survival gear. You go further down and you're seeing a little more of an upscale slowly in the tech. So you get stuff like, binoculars. Then you see glow sticks and flashlights and then some goggles and some glasses. And that's what's going to catch Polly's attention.
Yep.
They have a couple of different types of goggles here, binoculars. They got some chemical analyzers, some audio stuff, your basic computers, like your small like scale stuff.
All right, Ray. This is what I would like to do.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I want to get the goggles. They don't have smart goggles in the book. They only have smart glasses.
Yep.
So I don't know if it can be cosmetically whatever. It doesn't really matter if I can take whatever modules and integrate it into my helmet visor.
Yeah. Honestly, given Polly's like familiarity with tech and the inner working of just technology in general, it's just going to be like a small alteration to turn smart glasses into smart goggles or to integrate them into your helmet.
Okay.
Not that big of a stretch for her.
Okay. I was thinking that it would be something I could do.
Yep.
The two things that I'm looking for is I'm looking for teleoptics and image enhance.
You got 2 slots worth that you can put into your helmet essentially.
And those are each one slot.
Yeah.
Right.
So that will cover both of those. It takes a little bit of looking. Like, it takes you probably a half an hour to look through the stuff this guy has offered in front of you. But you do manage to find 2 oddly matched pairs of image enhancers. One is missing some components. The other one has those, but is missing other components. You'll have to kind of Frankenstein them together to make it work properly.
Right. Well, I'm taking it all apart anyways to install it into the visor.
Right. The teleoptics you do find, and those are pristine. Like, they're still in the case from the manufacturer. Like, yeah, the Kiyoshi case is still like beautiful. It's nice. It's a little scuffed, so there's some theories that could go with that.
I'm not worried about it falling off the back of a truck.
Right.
It's not on me.
So you look at the teleoptics, and the saleswoman, she's like, "Oh, those are nice ones." She speaks with a slightly Indian accent on her voice, and she's like, "Oh, those are very good. I actually just got those this week. Do you have any trade, or do you want to just pay euros?"
Gonna have to go straight payment. Don't have any. Haven't scrounged anything of worth as of late.
I completely understand. I can do those for 700. And she points at the teleoptics.
I kind of just lean on Sean.
700 is the Blood's price. You can do 4.
4? No, 4 I can't do. That's even below market if there were picked up in a very nice, wholesale shop.
Which is where you got them.
Right. Maybe I can do 4 with a favor.
What kind of favor?
Don't know yet, but I might need something.
Well,
nothing dangerous that I can put above board.
Nothing dangerous, nothing too hot. I don't know. What do you think, Polly?
Hey, if it's okay with you, I'm good. You know me. Your family. If your family needs something, I'm in.
All right, 4 and a favor.
She smiles and she nods. All right, deal. Name's Indri, by the way.
Max.
I saw you discussing with Raphael. Are you into cyberware?
You know what one of my friends is? I'm not personally.
Just standing back there, arms crossed, kind of like, I'm listening.
But yeah, Z here is pretty top notch.
So do you know about it? Yes, how to fix it, put it together. I mean, you sound like obviously you're buying raw components here, so you know something of installation.
I'm going to hold up my left hand, and I'm going to go ahead and let some of the tools open fingers and whatnot. Turn on, off, and let it close back up.
We got it all
She
covered.
smiles. She's like, excellent. Then I'm talking to good people then. I may have use of you when it comes to gauging some equipment when it comes in or picking some up from a seller that I know. He always tries to get one over on me, and I'm still learning as much as I want to, but I don't know as much as him, so somebody with tech skills would be very useful.
Hey, girl, we got to stick together.
And she'll point at the image enhancers that you kind of been juggling, the set. Normally those are around 600 a piece, but I'll throw in both of them for 300 since they are damaged.
You have yourself a deal.
Excellent.
Absolutely. I'll open up my
Agent.
my agent and be like, want my number?
Yes, please. And she'll pull hers out, her phone.
I'll go ahead and I'll slide it to her.
Yeah, you guys will exchange with just a quick bump. Do you transfer the funds over at that time as well? The 700?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Once that's over, you hear a little ding from her agent, and she's like, excellent. Do you want a bag? She actually laughs a little bit. Well, because
No.
the two image enhancers are separate, and then you got the box for the Kiyoshi optics, so it's like,
Right. And I'll just open up my tech bag and be like, no, I got it. I'm all good. Thank you, though.
yeah, no problem. She just kind of gestures to some like nylon bags that they've definitely seen better days behind the little table she's got here.
Hey, save them for other people. We're good.
Fair enough. So back out by the car where CD's been hanging out. Has CD been sitting in the car or like leaning on the car? How have you set yourself up there?
I have been sitting in like the front cab, like the passenger seat, with like my mask on and my feet kicked up on the dashboard, and I've just been listening to really obnoxious, loud electronic music while all the lights for my helmet kind of like flicker, and I've just been slowly cleaning my shotgun.
A couple people look over at the vehicle, but they don't linger too long because clearly like you're not about to be messing with anybody and playing around. But you do see a couple more vehicles, some muscle cars kind of roll on through.
Fucking
Some of them
A.
are blue and black, and they have the name The Wraiths logoed on the side, which clearly looks to be some other gang or clan. You're not quite sure. But they drive through. They do a slow circuit around the hotel. As they do this, you do notice, since you are solo and combat is your shtick, you notice that the attitudes of people sitting along the building, like at the tables and the benches, change. They get
Okay.
not hostile, but alert. Like they're paying attention as these cars drive through. Whoever that is, they're not well liked here, and you can feel the air change in this vicinity. Now, mind you, you're parked about 100 yards away from the hotel, but you can still just see the way everybody stiffens. And these two muscle cars just drive on through. They do a circuit around the building. As they're looping around the back, you see some of the guys that were sitting up front with Snake Nation colors on start talking to other clans that are there, and they all just start checking their weapons.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to change the music to something that is thumping, methodical, something that will give me the rhythm, because clearly some shit's about to go down. And I'll stop fucking around, mute the colors on my helmet and or on my mask rather, and I'll put the shotgun away and just make sure that the pistol is ready to go, because shit's probably going to go down.
All right, so at the end of episode 7, our characters have gone to a night market, had a bit of a run-in, well, more of a date really at this point, with a member of the New Trash. And at the end, CD runs into some potential issues with the Wraiths showing up at the night market. Clearly, it's made things tense, and we'll see how that goes next episode.